A teacher who has taught for 20 years, I never imagined that the biggest lie would come from the person beside me. It was Friday afternoon, I had just finished my last class and was getting ready to pack up and go home to cook dinner for my family. My phone rang, it was an unknown number. "Are you Teacher Lila?" A young girl's voice came from the other end. "Yes, who is this?" "I'm the child your husband had outside, just turned 18 this year." I froze at my desk, the phone nearly slipping from my hand. "What did you say?" "My mother died in a car accident, and before she passed, she made me promise to find my father. She said his name is Arlo, the principal of the second middle school, and his wife is a Chinese language teacher." My mind buzzed. Arlo, my husband's name. Second middle school, the place where I work. Chinese teacher, my profession. Everything fits perfectly. "Where are you?" I heard my own voice trembling. "Right at the school gate." "My name is Elliot." I mechanically packed up the homework on the desk and went downstairs to the school gate. From afar, I saw a girl wearing a faded school uniform, standing timidly under the phoenix tree. She looked a lot like Arlo, especially those eyes. I walked up to her, and she looked at me nervously. "Lila, I'm sorry, I never meant to break up your family." "Child, this isn't your fault." I tried to make my voice sound calm. "What's your mother's name?" "Sage. She said she's been with my dad for many years, but he has never agreed to divorce." Sage. I heard Arlo mention that name before, saying she was his college classmate who later moved away for work. So they had been in touch all along, and my marriage was never what I thought it was. "You should go back first, I'll handle this." The girl nodded, then hesitated. "Lila, my mom says you're a very good person. She's always felt guilty." I looked at this innocent child, my heart a tangle of emotions. Back home, Arlo hadn't returned yet. I sat in the living room, staring at the home we'd shared for 20 years. Our wedding photo hung on the wall, our pictures lined up in the cabinet, everything felt so hollow. Arlo came back at 8 in the evening. "Why didn't you cook?" He frowned at the empty dining table. "Arlo, we need to talk." He was stunned for a moment, probably sensing something from my tone. "Elliot came to school looking for me today." Arlo's face instantly turned pale, he sat down on the sofa and remained silent for a long time. "Sage is dead?" His voice was barely a whisper. "A car accident. On her deathbed, she asked the child to find you." I looked at him calmly. "Arlo. You've been hiding this from me all these years." "Lila, When were you planning to tell me? Or did you intend to keep it a secret forever?" "Sage and I were it was a moment of weakness. I always wanted to end that relationship." "End it? Then how did the child come about?" Arlo lowered his head. "Back then, Sage got pregnant. I urged her to have an abortion, but she refused. After the child was born, I've been raising them both on the outside." "You've been supporting them all this time." I repeated the sentence and suddenly wanted to laugh. "So all these years of overtime, business trips, and class reunions were just to keep company with the mother and daughter?" "Lila, let me explain." "Explain what?" "Explain how you managed to maintain two families at the same time. Explain how you played the role of a good husband in front of me." I stood up and walked toward the bedroom. "What are you doing?" Arlo followed me. I opened the wardrobe and started packing my clothes. "Lila, calm down. We can talk this through." "Talk about what?" "Talk about how you're going to deal with your illegitimate daughter? Or talk about how I'm supposed to accept this fact?" Without looking back, I kept packing. "Arlo, let's get a divorce." "What did you say?" "Divorce. I want a divorce." Arlo stood at the bedroom door, his expression shifting from shock to anger. "Lila, stop this. At your age, talk of divorce? Me causing a scene?" I paused what I was doing and turned to look at him. Arlo, who was the one keeping a lover and an illegitimate daughter on the side? Who treated me like a fool and lied to me? And now you say I'm the one making a fuss? I admit this was my fault, but Sage is dead, and it's all in the past. Why can't we start over? Start over? I sneered. Do you know what I was thinking just now? I was thinking about all these years, how many times you lied. How many overtime hours were real, how many business trips were fake, how many moments of tenderness were just an act. Lila. And Elliot, what about that child? She's an orphan now, aren't you going to take care of her? Arlo fell silent. See, you're still hesitating. I started packing my clothes again. Arlo, we really can't go on like this. So what do you want? To walk away with nothing? He suddenly grew cold. This house is in my name, and most of the savings are with me. You're just a middle school teacher, what could you possibly have after a divorce? My hand froze in midair. Yeah, all these years, I poured every ounce of energy into the family and work, never once thinking to leave a way out for myself. So what? I kept packing. It's better than living with a liar. Seeing I was determined to leave, Arlo's tone softened. Lila, think it through. We're both over 40, starting over won't be easy. And I'll take care of Elliot, she's already 18. I'll give her some money so she can focus on her studies. You think a sum of money can just get rid of your daughter? Arlo, since when did you become so cold-hearted? I'm doing this for our family. Family? I zipped up my suitcase. Arlo, that family ceased to exist the moment you cheated. I dragged my suitcase to the living room, took out the divorce agreement I had prepared long ago from my bag, and placed it on the coffee table. I've already consulted a lawyer. I don't want the house, nor the savings, as long as you agree to the divorce. Arlo looked at the divorce agreement, his face darkening. When did you prepare this? Before Elliot came to see me. What do you mean? I looked at his surprised expression, and suddenly felt a sense of relief. Arlo, you think you've hidden it well, but there are too many cracks. Working late into the night, yet your clothes carry no scent of overtime, on a business trip, but without a single trace of it, and your phone. Did you really think I never peeked? Arlo's face went completely pale. Though I had no solid proof, I had long harbored suspicions. Elliot's appearance was just the final straw. Then why didn't you say anything sooner? Because I still clung to the last shred of hope, that you would take the initiative to tell me, that you would end the outside relationship for the sake of this family. I smiled bitterly, but you never did. Silence fell over the living room. After a long while, Arlo spoke. Are you really sure? I am. Then I'll sign. He picked up the pen and signed his name on the divorce agreement. Lila, I hope you won't regret this. I won't regret it. I picked up the agreement and signed my name. Arlo, I hope you treat Elliot well. She's innocent. After saying that, I dragged my suitcase toward the door. Lila. Arlo called me from behind. I turned to look at him. I'm sorry. I nodded, said nothing, opened the door, and walked out. Downstairs, I hailed a taxi. The driver asked me where I wanted to go. I hesitated for a moment, realizing I hadn't thought about where to go after leaving this home. Driver, take me to the nearest hotel. The car started moving. Through the rearview mirror, I watched my home grow smaller and smaller, and tears finally slipped down my cheeks. 20 years of marriage had come to an end just like that. After staying at the hotel for 3 days, I finally figured out what to do next. First, the living situation. I couldn't keep living in a hotel, I needed to find a place to settle down. Second, Elliot, the innocent child, has no guardian right now, and I can't just ignore that. I called Arlo. Where is Elliot now? At a youth hostel. I gave her some money. Arlo's voice sounded exhausted. You let an 18-year-old girl stay alone at a youth hostel? Lila, we're divorced now. You don't have to worry about these things anymore. I'm not concerned about you, I'm concerned about a child's future. I hung up and went straight to the youth hostel Elliot had mentioned. When I found her, she was sitting on the bed, lost in thought. Seeing me, she stood up in surprise. Lila? What are you doing here? Elliot, are you alone right now? She nodded, her eyes a little red. My dad said I have to figure it out myself. A pang of bitterness hit my heart. This child had just lost her mother and was rejected by her father. How helpless she must feel. Pack up, come with me. Where to? First, find a place to settle down, then we'll discuss your plans for the future. Elliot was taken aback. Lila, shouldn't you hate me? After all, I am. Child, this is not your fault. I interrupted her, you didn't choose to be born, but you have the right to choose your future. We found a 2-bedroom apartment in a residential complex, simply renovated, and the rent wasn't too expensive. Elliot was very sensible and insisted on working to earn her own money. I didn't stop her but told her not to neglect her studies. Lila, why are you helping me? One night, Elliot suddenly asked me. I was cooking in the kitchen and stopped what I was doing when I heard the question. Maybe it's because we were both hurt by the same person. You divorced my dad? I'm sorry, it's because of me. Not because of you. I walked to the living room and sat opposite her. Elliot, you have to understand, a wrong marriage will end sooner or later. Your arrival just made me see reality a little earlier. So what will you do now? I don't know either. I smiled, it's only in middle age that you realize many things can start over. Elliot nodded, half understanding. The next day was Monday, and I went back to school for work. My colleagues looked at me strangely. I knew Arlo must have already told them about the divorce. Lila, what are you thinking? Giving up a perfectly good family? Mr. Lee from the office couldn't help but ask me. There's nothing good or bad about it. If it doesn't fit, then we separate, I said calmly as I organized the assignment books in my hands. But you two were together for 20 years, and now that you're divorced, what will you do alone? Being alone is quite nice, I replied. Mr. Lee wanted to say more but was stopped by another colleague. I knew they thought I was crazy, a 45-year-old woman, giving up a stable marriage, chasing after some kind of freedom. But they didn't understand that a loveless marriage, no matter how stable, is just a beautiful prison. After school in the afternoon, I went to pick up Elliot from work. She was working part-time at a milk tea shop, and the owner, a kind auntie, took good care of her after learning about her situation. Lila, I met a customer today who said she knows you, Elliot said as she tidied up. Who? A very pretty auntie said her daughter used to be your student. She also mentioned that if you have time, you could visit the coffee shop she runs. Elliot handed me a business card. I looked at it, it was for a coffee shop owned by Anna. Anna was a parent of one of my students 5 years ago, and I remembered her daughter got into a very good university. Is she still in business? It seems to be a new shop, right in the city center. She said she really misses the times chatting with you. I put the card away, and suddenly an idea came to mind. On the weekend, I found Anna's coffee shop following the address on her business card. The shop was small and warmly decorated, with few customers, mostly young people reading or chatting. Anna was pleasantly surprised to see me and immediately came over to greet me. Lila. Is that really you? I thought Elliot had mistaken me for someone else. How are things now? I asked after sitting down, inquiring about her daughter. She's studying for her master's abroad and will graduate next year. Anna poured me a cup of coffee. Lila, I heard that you divorced. I didn't avoid the topic. Really? Anna was shocked. Wasn't Arlo doing well? I gave a bitter smile and briefly explained Arlo's affair. After hearing it, Anna angrily slammed the table. That's outrageous. Men really aren't good for anything. I can't say that about all men, I just misjudged him. So what will you do now? Any plans? I haven't decided yet. First, I need to settle the child, then I'll think about the rest. Anna thought for a moment, then suddenly said, Lila, would you be interested in going into business with me? What do you mean? My coffee shop is doing well, but I can't handle it all by myself. Besides, I've always wanted to open a book cafe. You're a teacher and must have a deep knowledge of literature. We could partner up and open a coffee bookstore. I was taken aback for a moment, but I have no experience running a business. It's okay, I'll handle the operations, and you can take charge of selecting books and organizing literary events. I trust your taste. I need to think it over. Of course, take your time. But Lila, I feel like what you need right now isn't just a job, but a whole new life. On the way home, I kept thinking about Anna's words. A whole new life, those words sounded both tempting and terrifying. That evening, Elliot asked me where I had been, and I told her about meeting Anna. Lila, I think you should give it a try. Why? Because you don't seem happy right now. Elliot looked at me seriously. My mom always said that the most important thing in life is to be happy. If something can make you happy, why not try it? Her words reminded me of Sage. The woman I had never met but who had changed the course of my life. Elliot, what kind of person was your mom? Elliot's eyes lit up. She was brave and independent. Even though my dad couldn't give her a title, she never complained. She said love isn't everything in life, a woman needs her own career and ambitions. Does she have a job? Yes, she's an interior designer. Many people come to her to design their homes. She often tells me that a woman must be financially independent and not rely on anyone else to live. Suddenly, I understood why Arlo fell in love with Sage. She has something I don't, independence and courage. And me? For 20 years, I've devoted all my energy to my family. Apart from teaching, I've hardly had any other pursuits. Maybe Anna was right, I don't need just a job, I need a whole new life. The next day, I called Anna to arrange a detailed discussion about the collaboration. Lila, have you made up your mind? Yes, I have. But I have one condition. Go ahead. I need to bring someone with me, Elliot. She's very smart and can help us with some things. Of course. Actually, I just happen to need an assistant. And just like that, for the first time in my life, I truly took control of my own destiny. Preparing the coffee book bar was more complicated than I had imagined. Choosing the location, decorating, stocking up, hiring, each task required hands-on effort. But I found that I really enjoyed the process. When discussing the store layout with Anna, I shared many of my own ideas. For example, setting up a dedicated reading corner filled with various literary classics, or regularly hosting book-sharing sessions to provide a platform for literature lovers to connect. Lila, your ideas are really fantastic. Anna was excited. I knew partnering with you was the right choice. Elliot also helped a lot. Though young, she was full of ideas and suggested many ways to attract younger customers. Lila, we could create some literary-themed specialty coffees, like a coffee called Dream of the Red Chamber, or a milk tea named Jane Eyre. That's a great idea. I nodded with a smile. We could also place a book on each table so guests can read whenever they want. 3 months later, Ink Fragrance Coffee Book Bar officially opened. On opening day, many guests came, former students of mine, Anna's friends, and some passers-by. Looking at the lively shop, I felt an unprecedented sense of accomplishment. Lila, you really look different now. A former student said to me. Different how? You look so energetic now, and there's a light in your eyes. A light in my eyes. I remembered what Elliot once said, the most important thing in life is to be happy. Maybe I've truly found my own happiness. While tidying up the shop in the evening, Anna suddenly asked me, Lila, do you regret it? Regret what? The divorce. If you hadn't divorced, you'd still be the principal's wife now, and you wouldn't have to work so hard. I paused what I was doing, thought for a moment, and said, I don't regret it. If I hadn't divorced, I would never have known that I had this kind of possibility. What possibility? The possibility of becoming my true self. Elliot nodded beside me. Lila is right. My mom used to say the same thing, the most important thing for a woman is to live as herself. The shop's business grew better day by day. The book-sharing sessions we held were very popular, with many people attending each time. I found that I really enjoy discussing literature with others. The thrill of intellectual collision is something I never experienced when I was a teacher. One day, a customer asked me, "Madam, what did you do before? You seem to have a deep knowledge of literature." "I used to be a middle school teacher." "Then why didn't you continue teaching?" I thought for a moment and said, "Because I wanted to try a different kind of life." Yes, a different kind of life. A new life starting at 45. Although it's tiring and hard, I have never been this happy. Every night when I get home, Elliot shares with me what she has learned that day. She helps out at the coffee book bar during the day and attends night school in the evening, preparing to take the adult college entrance exam. "Lila, I want to apply to the Chinese department of the university where you used to work." "Why?" "Because I want to become someone like you." "What kind of person?" "Independent, brave, someone with their own thoughts." I smiled. "Elliot, you already are." "Yes, we all are. After going through life's upheavals, we've all become better versions of ourselves." Half a year after the coffee book bar opened, Arlo came to see me once. That day, I was organizing newly arrived books when I heard someone call my name. I turned around and saw it was him. "Is there something you need?" I continued sorting the books without stopping my hands. "I want to talk to you about Elliot." "What about?" "She's with you now, and I'm grateful. But after all, she is my daughter, and I want to." "You want what?" I finally looked up at him. "I want to take her back. After all, I am her father." I put down the book in my hand. "Arlo, are you sure you're doing this for Elliot's sake and not for some other reason?" "What other reason?" "Like public pressure? Like people saying you don't even care about your own daughter?" Arlo's face flushed a little. "I truly want what's best for her." "Then why are you only now thinking about treating her well? When she just lost her mother and needed a father's love the most, where were you?" "My situation was complicated back then." "Complicated?" I sneered. "Arlo, do you know that child worked late every day just so she wouldn't trouble me? Do you know she often ate only a piece of bread for a meal to save money?" Arlo fell silent. "Now you suddenly want to be a father, did you ask her how she feels about that?" Arlo still said nothing. Just then, Elliot came back from outside and froze when he saw Arlo. "Dad?" "Elliot, your dad is here to take you home," Arlo stood up and said. Elliot looked at me, then at Arlo. "I don't want to go back." "Why? Is this your home?" "This place feels more like home than where you are." Elliot said calmly, "Dad, I know you came looking for me because of what others said, but I don't need your guilt." "Elliot. I'm doing well now, Lila treats me well, and I've found what I want to do. Please don't come to disturb us anymore." Arlo's expression was complicated, but in the end, he nodded. "All right, if you need anything, you can always come to me." With that, he walked away. Elliot watched his back, her eyes a little red. "Do you regret it?" I asked her. "No regrets." She shook her head. "Lila, I already have a new family." I patted her shoulder, feeling warm inside. Yes, we all have new family members now. Not by blood, but bonds more precious than blood ties. Just then, Anna came rushing in excitedly. "Good news! Good news!" "What good news?" "A reporter from a TV station wants to interview our bookstore. They say our business model is unique and want to do a special feature." Elliot and I exchanged a glance, both pleasantly surprised. "Really? Really? They're coming tomorrow." "Lila, please get ready, they mainly want to interview you." "Interview me? Why?" "Because your story is inspiring. Divorced at 45, starting over, and adopting your ex-husband's illegitimate daughter, this story is very touching." I suddenly felt a bit uneasy. I never intended to be inspiring, nor did I want to be touching. I'm just living the life I want. But your life itself is very inspiring. Elliot said, you showed me that a person can start over at any time, and maybe she was right. Life has no standard answers, only choices that suit oneself. After the TV interview aired, the coffee book bar suddenly became popular. Many people came specifically to see this inspirational female boss, and many media outlets wanted to interview me. But I refused them all. I didn't want to become an inspirational cliché, I just wanted to quietly run my little shop. Lila, don't you think it's a pity? This is a great opportunity for publicity. Anna was a bit puzzled. I don't need publicity. I look at the busy customers in the shop, she said, our business is already good enough, and I don't want this place to turn into a tourist attraction. Elliot agreed with my decision, Lila is right. What we want are customers who truly love this place, not those who come just for the spectacle. And so, the hype gradually faded, and the coffee book bar returned to its original tranquility. But one change made me very happy, more and more women are coming to our book sharing sessions. Some are full-time housewives, some are career women, and some are students, but they all share one thing in common, they are dissatisfied with their current lives and want to seek change. Lila, can you give us some advice? After one sharing session, a woman in her 30s asked me, what advice? Advice about life choices. My life is stable now, but I feel very oppressed. I want to make a change, but I'm afraid. I thought for a moment and said, I think the most important thing is to be honest with your own heart. Ask yourself what you truly want and what you can let go of. Then bravely go after it. But I'm getting older. Can I still change? Why not? I smiled. I started my business at 45, and Elliot found his biological father at 18. It's never too late to start in life. The woman nodded, her eyes shining. Later, I heard that she quit the job she disliked and went to study baking, something she was truly interested in. There are many stories like this. I realized that everyone has a version of themselves they want to become, but often they are held back by various worries. And perhaps my story can give them a bit of courage. A year later, Elliot was admitted to a teacher's university. On the day she received the acceptance letter, she cried. Lila, thank you. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Child, this is the result of your own hard work, I patted her head, keep it up from now on. I will. I want to become someone like you. No, you need to become yourself. Yes, become yourself. That's a lesson I only learned when I was 45. Now, every morning when I wake up, I smile at myself in the mirror. Not because life has become perfect, but because I have finally become the person I want to be. The coffee book bar is doing better and better, and Anna and I are considering opening a second branch. After graduating from Elliott University, she said she wanted to come back to help us, but I told her to go out first, explore, and see the bigger world. As for Arlo, we occasionally run into each other on the street. We nod politely, then each goes our separate ways. Sometimes I wonder, if Elliot hadn't shown up that day, how much longer would I have kept pretending in that fake marriage? Maybe for a lifetime. But not anymore. Because I have found a life that belongs to me. 2 years later in the spring, the coffee book bar welcomed a special guest. That day, I was organizing new books in front of the bookshelf when I heard someone ask, is Lila here? I turned around and saw a man in his 50s, dressed simply in a shirt and jeans, looking very refined. Hello, I'm Lila. May I ask who you are? I'm Jude, a university professor. He smiled as he introduced himself. I often come here to read and really enjoy the atmosphere. I remembered, he is indeed one of our regulars, often sitting alone in the corner reading quietly. Thank you for your support. Is there something special today? Actually, I wanted to ask you for a favor. He seemed a bit embarrassed. I'd like to hold a small literary lecture here, would that be possible? Of course. What is your field of expertise? Ancient Chinese literature. My eyes lit up. Wonderful. We happen to be in need of activities in that area. And so, Jude became a special guest lecturer at our book bar. His lectures were very popular, always packed to the brim. After one lecture, we sat together drinking tea and chatting. "Lila, you are truly remarkable," he said. "Why do you say that?" "Few people can make such a big change in middle age and succeed so well." "Actually, I think I was just lucky." "Not luck, courage." He looked at me seriously. "I have a friend, also divorced in middle age, but she can't move on and feels her life is over. I want to tell her your story. If she's willing to listen." "She will be willing." "Actually, she is my ex-wife." I was stunned for a moment, not expecting him to be so candid. "We have been divorced for 5 years, but have always maintained a friendship. She is very lost right now, feeling that at her age, there's no chance to start over. Life is never too late to begin." I said, "If she's willing, she can come visit us here." A month later, Jude brought a gentle woman to the bookstore. Her name was Sunny, a high school teacher who looked a bit worn out, but her eyes were kind. "You must be Lila, right? Jude talks about you often." We talked for a long time. Sunny told me that since her divorce, she had felt like a failure and didn't know how to face the future. "Now, every day I either teach or go home. Life feels meaningless," she said with a bitter smile. "Do you have any hobbies? Anything you've always wanted to do but never did?" She thought for a moment. "I used to love writing and even published a few short stories in magazines. But after I got married, I gave it up." "Why not start again? At this age, does it still have any meaning?" "Of course it does." I pointed to the books on the shelf. "Look, many of these writers only started writing after middle age. Age has never been the issue, the question is whether you're willing to start over." Sunny's eyes slowly brightened. Later, she became a signed author at our bookstore, specializing in writing literary reviews and essays for us. Her writing was delicate and well-loved by readers. Watching her become more cheerful day by day made me very happy. "Lila, you gave me the courage to start over," she said to me one day. I told her, "It's not me, it's you. I just reminded you that you've always had this ability." Stories like this often happen in our bookstore. Many people come here not just to drink coffee and read, but to find direction and courage in life. I realized that my life unexpectedly gained a new meaning, not just living for myself, but also to help more people find themselves. When the bookstore celebrated its 3rd anniversary, we decided to publish a book compiling the works of all the authors who had held sharing sessions here. "How about calling it What You Understand Only in Middle Age?" Anna suggested. "That's a good title." I nodded in agreement. Elliot had come back from university to help organize the manuscripts. She was now a graceful young lady. "Lila, you should write a piece to include as well," she said. "What should I write?" "Write your story. From divorce to opening the bookstore, that's the best story." I thought for a moment, then sat down at the computer and began to write. What you understand only in middle age is that life can hold so many possibilities. As I wrote, memories of the past 3 years came flooding back. The pain and confusion during the divorce, the busyness and excitement of opening the book cafe, the touching moments and gains from meeting all kinds of people. Each stage was not easy, but every stage was precious. After finishing the article, I showed it to Jude. "Well written," he said, "but I feel something is missing." "Missing what?" "A conclusion. Your story is still ongoing, how can it have an ending?" He was right. My story truly is still unfolding. In these 3 years, I didn't just open a book cafe, more importantly, I found my true self. The woman who had been bound by marriage for 20 years is gone. Now, I am an independent, confident woman with my own pursuits. I grow every day, discovering new possibilities daily. After the book was published, it was well received. Many readers wrote to us, sharing their feelings after reading it. There was a letter that left a particularly deep impression on me. "Lila, I am 42 years old this year and have just gone through a divorce. After reading your story, I feel that life still holds hope. I've decided to learn painting, something I've always wanted to do. Thank you for showing me that it's never too late to start life anew. Seeing letters like this makes me feel that all the effort is worthwhile. One day, Arlo suddenly came to the bookstore. I was a bit surprised because since Elliot went to college, we rarely saw each other. Is there something you need? I asked him. I want to apologize to you, he said. For the past 3 years, I've been thinking about what our life would have been like if I hadn't cheated back then. What's the point of that? I said calmly. The past can't be changed. I know. But I want to tell you, seeing you now, I really admire you. You're more beautiful and charming than before. Thank you, I replied politely. Lila, do we still have a chance? He suddenly asked. I shook my head. Arlo, we are already people from two different worlds. My life now is good, and I don't want any more changes. He nodded. I understand. I hope you stay this happy forever. After he left, Anna came over and asked me, don't you regret it? Regret what? Rejecting him. After all, you two have 20 years of emotional history. I smiled. Emotional history? What foundation can feelings built on lies have? Besides, my life now is 1,000, 10,000 times better than before. Why would I want to go back to the past? Yes, why go back to the past? Now, I have my own career, true friends, a family who loves me, Elliot, and countless possible futures. I don't need anyone to save me, because I have already saved myself. Now, the bookstore has been open for 5 years. After graduating from Elliott University, she really came back to help me. She learned many new business concepts, making the bookstore much more modern. Mom, I have an idea. She calls me that now, and although we are not related by blood, she is my daughter. What idea? I want to create an online platform specifically to help women who want to change their lives. It can offer services like psychological counseling, career planning, and entrepreneurship guidance. Sounds good. I want to call it A New Beginning. A New Beginning. These words now hold a special meaning for me. 5 years ago, I thought life at 45 was set in stone, that no big changes were possible. But now I know, at any point in life, you can start over. Jude and Sunny also became our partners. They not only helped us organize events but also co-planned many projects aimed at helping middle-aged people redesign their lives. Lila, what do you think defines a successful life? A reporter once asked me. I thought for a moment and said, I believe a successful life is one where, at any age, you have the courage to choose the life you want and strive for it. Are you satisfied with your choices now? Very satisfied. If I had to choose again, I would make the same decisions. Yes, I have no regrets. Every morning when I wake up, I thank fate for giving me the chance to start over. Arlo's affair, though painful at the time, now seems like a gift from fate. Without that incident, I might never have discovered just how many possibilities I still had. I am no longer anyone's accessory. I am Lila, the owner of the Coffee Book Bar, a mentor to many, Elliot's mother, and most importantly, I am myself. When I close the shop at night, I always stand in front of the bookshelf for a while. Looking at these books, I think of who I was 5 years ago. A woman bound by life, afraid to make any changes. Now, every day, I create new possibilities. Today, a customer told me she read the book we published and decided to quit her job to pursue her dreams. Another said she was inspired by us and went back to school to continue her studies. Every time I hear stories like these, I feel that what I do is meaningful. Life is not a solo performance, the changes each of us makes can influence others. Just as Sage's existence once changed the course of my life, now my story is changing the lives of others. Perhaps this is the meaning of life. We don't live just for ourselves, but also for those who need courage. It was late at night when Elliot and I were walking home together. Suddenly, she asked me, Mom, do you think my choice was right? What choice? I asked. Choosing to come back and help you instead of going to the big city to pursue my career. I stopped walking and looked at her seriously. Elliot, I believe the most important thing in life isn't what you choose, but taking responsibility for your choice. As long as you put effort into your decision, any choice is the right one. She nodded. I understand. I don't regret my choice. That's enough. Yes, not regretting is enough. It's only in middle age that we realize the most precious thing in life isn't what we have, but the kind of person we have become. I am grateful that at the age of 45, I finally became the person I wanted to be. And that is true success.